First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone GMS, who taught me this 100% truth according to the measure of the Holy Spirit. Those are the men of the Lord, those are the prophets. Peace, blessings, and safety to the elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the planet Earth, pushing this word in humility and sincerity as commanded by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And we're inching closer and closer unto that SHTF scenario. You know, that shit hit the fan prophecy, because that is prophecy. All right, that shit will hit the fan. Okay, but before that happens, there are certain laws and certain decrees, as it says in Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, unrighteous laws. Okay, there's certain laws that are going to be put into place and policies that are going to be mandated that's going to cause the people to rise up. All right, and one of the prophecies that's spoken about in the book of Second Ezra, which the book of Second Ezra is a very prophetic book, but Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, about the 17th verses, says that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay, and right now you got Mr. Mouse, F-A-U-C-I, if you know who that is. He's suggesting a V mandate back for a V mandate for domestic air travel. Let's click on this. It says Fauci says U.S. should consider mandatory for domestic air travel, but doesn't expect it for now. You see, and that's what these devils do. They always tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. They throw it out there and they say, well, we may have to do this, but we don't see ourselves doing that right now. And then 6 months, 3-4 months, a year later, they do exactly what they said they didn't think they would have to do. That's how these devils operate. They have to tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. It's a part of their witchcraft and their sorcery, you know, and their quote-unquote manifesting. It says in an interview Monday on MSNBC's Morning Joe, Dr. Anthony Fauci said that mandatory VVs for domestic air travel is worth considering. So now it's going to come a time pursuant to Bible prophecy, because we don't base things off of what we think these Edomites are going to do. We base things off of what we know these Edomites are going to do because it's written. Okay, 2 Ezra 15:17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You have a bunch of instances where people have been going into restaurants in New York City and trying to, buy food, and they're being denied access to food. They're being denied the ability to purchase food because they don't have a pass, okay, because they don't have their slave papers, okay? And so men are desiring to go into a city or an establishment or some type of a perimeter and are not able, okay? It says international travelers must show proof of VVs and a negative VV test in order to board U.S. bound flight, and also wear a mask. Later on Monday, Fauci said he didn't think a mandate would be imposed anytime soon. It says when you make VVs a requirement, this is him speaking, when you make VVs a requirement, there is another incentive to get more people VV'd. If you want to do that with domestic flights, I think that's something that seriously should be considered. So now he's telling the people that they should, the government of the United States should seriously consider domestic flights requiring the VVs. And Salaki, because I'm trying to choose my words wisely. 2 Ezra 15:17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay, why? Because they're not going to have their slave papers, because they're not going to have their VVs. They ain't got all their boosters. So because you ain't got all your boosters, you cannot go play on the playground. Because you ain't got your VVs, you can't go to Vegas and twerk. And, that ain't stopping these women. They going right ahead and getting it, But this is the world that we're living in, okay? Because this devil is coming down with great wrath, and there's been a lot of stuff about them canceling flights. I noticed they've been canceling flights. So while they say they're not going to do it no time soon, it looks to me as if they're trying to slow everything down so that they can either lock it down or they can impose the domestic travel mandate. It says, this is NBC News, JetBlue cancels 1,280 flights through mid-January due to the VV spike. Okay, the CV spike. So you got these airlines canceling flights. Okay, canceling flights. Losing out on money because they say the numbers is spiking. And those are flights that I'm sure people had booked. I'm sure people desired to go certain places and are not able. CNN says travel nightmare continues. Another 2,800 flights canceled Tuesday. So why are all these flights getting canceled? It says USA Today, 7,000 plus flights delayed or canceled. Hospitalizations up for kids. Omicron may not be more severe. So here it is. They're saying that this second wave of the big O, is not as severe as the big C, but yet they're canceling all these flights. They're doing all of these things. So we don't believe you because scriptures say that this devil, his tongue frame of deceit. Let's get that. Psalms 50:19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, thy tongue frameth deceit. You see, his tongue frames deceit. His tongue is the border of deceit. Because this man, there's nothing upright and honest about him. Psalms 52:2, thy tongue deviseth mischiefs like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. You see, and that's why you cannot believe what you read in this man's media, what you watch on this man's TV. I mean, you cannot be that naive and that stupid, in 2022, coming up on 2022, 2021, about to be 2022, Lord willing, we see 2022. It doesn't make any sense for you to trust this man. Okay? His narrative doesn't make sense. Everything he gives you, he says it's going to work, then it don't work, then he say you're going to need something else, and this one will work. What happens when that one don't work? Then he's going to present you with the MOT beast. He's going to present you with the charagma, the grain of rice. That's what all of this is leading to. Also, oh, damn, I lost my train of thought. But let's go back. I lost my train of thought, Salakia. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on that. It's funny that they're canceling all these flights, and they're also deliberating this mandate. It says domestic travel VV mandate back in the spotlight. The debate over requiring VVs for domestic travel is back in the spotlight. And, pretty much they're locking this thing down on a state level and on a county level. There has been news coming out that they're working on legislation to basically set up checkpoints dealing with these new LED street lights and highway lights that's going up, setting up new checkpoints on a county level and a state level so that if you don't have VVs, you can't travel from county to county. Okay, they're about to, because remember, America's a gigantic prison. That's why you got all these borders, all these different counties and stuff. Those are nothing but, bars, so to speak, spiritual bars, these borders. And pretty much you got to have certain papers to go past each border, whether you're going out of Cuyahoga County, whether you're going out of the state of Ohio, or whether you're going out of the United States of America into Canada. You got to have paperwork. You got to have certain paperwork, and you got to have a certain record to be able to travel If I'm on probation, I cannot go out of state. I cannot go out of county, actually. you know. But if I got my papers, if everything checks out, I'm good. I'm not on probation. I don't have no warrants. I can go outside of the state as of right now. But let's say I want to go to Canada. I can't just up and go to Canada. I had to get certain paperwork. I had to get a passport. So what does all this mean? This means that you're not free. Okay, this means that you're not free. And they're planning, like I said, they're planning on shutting this thing down. And it's going to cause chaos. After all, the motto of the wicked elites that rule this world is Ordo ab Chaos, which means order from chaos. 2 Esdras 15:14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And this is that shit hit the fan prophecy that we constantly talk about. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You see, and people are getting really, really irritated, and it's only a matter of time before people go berserk. When you're depriving people of food, you're depriving people, not only are you depriving people of food, but you're robbing them of the ability to purchase it. Here it is, they have the money, you have the product, but they can't sell it to you because you don't have your slave papers. It says, verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. And that's what all this is going to cause. It's going to cause famines. It's going to cause certain people to have and others to have not. And that's going to cause violence. It's going to cause desperation on one part. And they're going to do whatever they can to feed their family and to feed themselves to stay alive. And only those who have the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the elect, they're the only ones that's going to get through this, because it's about to get really bad out here. Once again, Lord, with this edifying, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Kwame Asherallah. Shalom.